Hello? Perfect.
Hello, hello. Yep. Okay, so this is the new one, huh? Where is my? Did I give you my detailed agenda?
Well, now that, oh, no, no, that can't be right. Because that would mean that if you ever didn't have a quorum, you could never approve the minutes. That can't be right. You have to be able to vote on approval of the minutes. I don't know if they're right or wrong. I know, but it can't work that way.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Actually, I do. Didn't I? Yeah, if you've got January 3rd, you've got little X's all over the place.
Okay, let's go. Nope. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, they could. Good morning, everybody. We are now in order, so let's have a moment of silence. Jean, call for quorum.
Okay, we will have in a moment. We are 6. We need 7. 7 is on his way in, I hear.
You think? Okay, good. Who is coming?
Jason
Oh, good. Oh, okay, great. Okay, well, we can't move forward till we get a quorum because we can't adopt the agenda and we can't approve the minutes. So is there anything y'all would like to chat about while we're waiting? We can have the treasurer's report.
Okay.
Sorry. I jumped ahead of you.
All right, we are still pending a few adjustments in the great big bookkeeping spreadsheet, but I think we will get those done soon. Without those adjustments, which would not make a large difference one way or the other, we have what appears to be $5,579 raised from card and print sales. Less expenses gives us a net of $2,662.71. I think that may turn out to be higher when we're finally finished looking at our adjustments, but not by much. We closed out the Nancy Hope Fund as of the last meeting, moving the remaining money that was actually Nancy Hope money with the family's blessing
Are you on?
to Flat Creek Crossing. Okay. The native plant sale is coming around again. The last one actually made some money. We are already seeing announcements from plant sales earlier than we have ever seen them before from other organizations. So the viability of a plant sale here is definitely in question. We may need to switch to a different format in the future, and I hope I haven't just made Betty's report for her, but but I know that they're working hard on it, and we'll see what they can pull together. That wasn't a treasurer's report exactly, except that it could affect our bottom line slightly. I think that's all I have to say unless there are questions.
All right, now, are there any additions to the agenda as emailed and distributed? Hearing none, they stand approved. Adoption of the minutes. Are there any addition or corrections to the minutes, to the January minutes as emailed?
Those went out by email about a week ago, and they were quite brief.
Hearing none, they stand approved. Okay. Are there any public comments from anyone sitting out there in the audience? Everybody good? Okay. We have two representatives from Tree Board with us today who are going to give us some reports and some information. Ed Kramer is vice chair. Ed Kramer is vice chair. Ed, who will speak on a tree board. Where is Ed? Okay, you're going to speak on the tree board project called Treasured Trees. Ed, step to the podium. Morning.
I am a member of the tree board, and the chair asked us to the project we were interested in, and I picked up the education, and just through some of my community.
Speak into the mic, Ed. Thank you. Are you on? Check the little button at the top.
Okay.
There you go.
So, through some of the people I know in the community, I came across a program called the Treasure Tree Program, which is sponsored by the Swannanoa Valley Tree Alliance. And I'm going to hand out a brochure to you guys.
Thank you.
So, I'm going to read a little announcement that I made at the tree board. And that probably will sum up the program, answer your questions, and just tell you where we are in terms of getting this program instituted in Monterey. All right, so the SVTA Treasure Tree Program, I recommended it, and it was approved by our tree board last meeting, and it's going to be brought before the town commissioners tomorrow for their final approval. The brochure that you have in front of you gives an excellent description of the SVTA. It explains both the criteria for a tree to be nominated and approved, along with an incredible map of all the trees that are in the program with their locations, their types, and their explanations.
Hey, Ed, I don't think you're quite speaking into that microphone.
Okay, is that
There
better?
you go. Now, close to your mouth.
Okay, all right. I usually yell, that's why I don't use mics. Okay, so, continuing. There are trees that have been nominated in Montreat. We did a survey, I'll get a little ahead of myself, back in October of last year. Members of the tree board, members of the SVTA, our town arborist, Dan Wiggs, we walked the town looking for trees that would fulfill their requirements to be a treasure tree, and we did come up with about 14 trees. And without going into where they're all located, we have, I have a list here somewhere, maybe I left, oh, here it is, right here. Just to give you a summary, we have American sycamores that are going to be nominated, cucumber magnolias, eastern hemlocks, white oaks, tulip trees, northern red oaks, red maples, black gum trees, and pigment hickories. In total, there's 14 trees. So, if you read through the brochure, what will happen now, there's another. There actually is at the corner of Flat Creek, right here, parking lot, a treasure tree, which is a plaque on it.
Thank you.
Once we get the final approval from the property owners, some of the trees are on private property, some are on the right-of-way of the town, some are on college property, and some are on the MRA properties. We will proceed. What will happen is there will be a plaque that we place on the tree. The plaque is designed to grow with the tree. It's on a spring-loaded type of screw, so it doesn't get nailed into the tree, okay? And what it'll be, it'll have a plaque that looks like this. If you want to see a real plaque, like I said, there's a tree right at the corner here. It's a 150, 170-year-old tree. It'll have a description of the tree and all that kind of things. So what we're going to try and do is sell the plaques. That's my specialty. And we're going to try to, hopefully, the plaques are about $40 or $50 each, that's it. But maybe it'll be a memory in honor of somebody, which I think would be a beautiful thing. And in addition to that, we're going to try and conduct a treasure tree tour in Montreat, which just came to mind. Maybe we can, as our chair agrees, or our tree board agrees, maybe we can do it along with you guys on your plant sale. You know, have one big, beautiful day here in Montreat with the plants and the trees and whatever. So having said that, it's just, the map you have in front of you, you see it's a fantastic map. It's a walking map. It has all kinds. We will be included on that map, okay?
Oh, we will?
Yes, eventually when the new maps come out, and they're coming out soon, our treasure trees will be included on this walking map, which will just, I think, be a great thing for the community. So, one more thing, the cost of the town is zero. So I think the town commissioners will like to hear that tomorrow. So it's just, now, it also will open up other opportunities for us because the SVTA, the Swanano Valley Tree Alliance, is also associated with many other nonprofit tree and arborist associations in the city, in the state, and in the county. And they get funds, and there's all kinds of programs that will become available to us since we will become associated with them. It's kind of a quasi type of an association. There's no membership fee. It's just that we participate in their programs. And they've been wanting to come into Montreat for many, many years because they've got Ricefield, they've got Swananoa, they've got Black Mountain, and now Montreat. So that's the program. Any questions? Yes?
I think it's a great idea. I was just wondering, who estimates the age of the trees? Do they do a report?
They have professionals on the SVTA. They have professionals. They come, they measure. The other thing I should mention, one of our residents, Joe Standard, as a courtesy, took pictures of all the trees with their leaves on, because that's one of the requirements. So we've got that history as well. But they just don't look, oh, isn't that a pretty tree, or isn't that a tall tree? Oh, no, it has to meet a certain criteria, which is done by professionals. Yeah, and that was done in October. In fact, they actually picked up more than just the 14 trees that they ended up. Some they said no, they didn't qualify. But the brochure kind of describes what does qualify it as quote unquote a treasure tree. Yes.
Ed, excuse me, go ahead. Just speak.
So Eddie, this looks like a neat idea. I like it. Is there any estimation as to how much traffic it'll bring in? Where are these brochures located? How do people find out about it? And has there been any thought to reflecting back to our overuse of the trails already and what a issue that is for our MRA? And I'm just wondering if this is on private land, is that going to cause any issues to bring a lot of folks in? Have y'all thought through that at all?
The answer is that these trees are basically along Assembly Drive and a couple of the private homes and maybe a little bit on the near Anderson as you make that right turn in some of the parking lots. So that's where these trees are mostly located. The answer is no, we have not gone that far, okay? How we're going to take these, where these trees are located, how we're going to, we'll call it market it. We're really not going to market it in the sense that, come to
Ed,
my
this
tree.
could, as I envision it, could,
I'm sorry, you were at the meeting.
I was at the meeting.
Right.
As I envision this, it looks like it's kind of a park there and walk tour. Could it be that?
I think it can be anything we want it to be, and that hasn't been determined yet. And I'm
Well, that
probably
would
going to
certainly
get
answer
that.
the
I appreciate
traffic
the
issue.
question, Beth, because I'm probably going to get that question tomorrow night.
Probably will.
Yes.
And also, if it is on private property, so if a tree in my backyard were there, I would certainly hope I would have been notified that it may be put out there. Have you talked to the owners?
Excellent question. I have actual release forms. I have to get signed by the property owners.
Okay, good.
And if they say, I'm sorry, we don't want it, then the tree's out.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't willy-nilly just say, oh, we're sticking a plaque up on this tree. No, we have to get a signed release form from the property owner, MRA, the town, the college, to say, this tree's been nominated, here's what's involved, and they may say no, and that
Okay.
no's okay.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Yeah, I don't see people wandering through yards. Aren't these trees are kind of easy to look at, aren't they? They don't have to go up into somebody's yard.
Very easy. We did not have to walk more than 5 feet off of Assembly
Okay.
Drive, 10 feet at the most, looking up. I mean, and the initial group of trees, you know, it goes down the road a year, 2, 5 years from now, maybe somebody will
Yeah.
say, I have a wonderful tree. You got to go up this road and make a right here and go left. And no, we're not at that point yet.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, Ed, this is, it met with great enthusiasm in the tree board meeting.
Right.
And I think it's a great project. Certainly falls in Landcare mission. So
Good.
we'll look forward to updates from you
Okay,
as to how it's going.
that'd be wonderful. Okay.
Thank
We
you
have to
so
get the final
much for
approval
bringing this.
tomorrow from the town commissioners. And one of the town commissioners does sit on the tree board, and he was in favor of it, so that's a good thing.
That's good.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention the question about private property on the back. It says that the owners receive recognition with a certificate, and they get expert consultation by a certified arborist. So I think that's a real advantage
It is.
to identifying these trees, to protect them for the future.
Right. I mean, the SVTA, I mean, they have a lot of qualified people with a lot of, other than their love of trees, who really have a lot of professional knowledge of trees.
It's good. It's good. I hope my questions were not perceived as
No, they were helpful because I got to
exploratory.
be ready for that one tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will get that question. And it's a good question. You know, you just don't want people wandering around. Okay.
Anything else for Ed?
Anything else?
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right, next we've got the tree board chair, Brad Hester, has got an invitation. Yeah. We love invitations. Is there a party involved?
Of sorts, yes. It's a two-part thing. The brochures that they provided are over there on the table. I didn't pass them around. And everything has all the information, so you could take one sheet or you could take 2 or 3 different ones. But part of why I wanted to talk today was to and ask you to pick copies up, multiple copies, and take them to your organizations and pass them around so that people around Montreat will be able to know about this event, which is Tuesday, March 19th. When you talk about treasured trees, my treasured tree is a 100-foot giant chestnut tree. It doesn't exist yet, or maybe it's only a little thing, because at this point, 100 years ago, the chestnuts were on the way out, and there's very few that you can find in the woods here, although the root systems for a lot of them still exist. But the American Chestnut Foundation, established 40 years or so ago, has the mission of bringing the chestnut back. And using all the science that's available to them, they're making and partnering with organizations around the country, they're going to make a great effort to achieve that goal. 100 years ago, the chestnuts were on the way out. They had been attacked by the blight, and many of them were dying. They weren't all gone by then. But at one point, this forest was dominated by these beautiful giants of trees that we don't see anymore. I would like our future generations to be able to see them and enjoy them. And if you go to some of the buildings around here, like the Anderson Auditorium, the Gaither Chapel, as I call it, the pews there are made of chestnut. So,
Where, Brad? Tell me again, where? Where the
I understand they've sold them all, which is another thing, but the pews in the chapel up there.
Right.
But I believe also the Anderson Auditorium pews are made of chestnut. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to see what the wood looks like, it's there, and it's beautiful, wonderful material. Plus the seeds, as prickly as they are, were a tremendous source of food for the animals. It was a central part of the ecology of this area, and all up and down the Appalachian chain. So anyway, just want to tell you about this event. It's in 3 parts. They say 2, but it's kind of 3. On the 19th of March in the afternoon, 4 to 5:30, they will be teaching people how to plant chestnuts, and it's knowledge that's transferable to other kinds of trees, planting and caring for. And then another section of that event is food forest maintenance, and what to do to take care of the trees in your area. Final part, take a break of an hour or so and show up at the Asheville Pizza and Brewing business, and have pizza, have beer if you wish, and view the film that's called Clear Day Thunder, which is a documentary movie that has been prepared by the Chestnut Foundation that gives the history and all. Present there will be leaders of the Chestnut Foundation, including Jamie Van Cleef, who's the science person for this region, there to answer a lot of questions. They've made a lot of progress in using different varieties of hybridization and development of blight-resistant trees. There's some setbacks that you'll learn about, but it's an ongoing project that I think this is the best opportunity we've had to learn a lot about it. And people accuse me of being sort of fanatic about chestnuts, and it may be true, Because I really do dream about that future tree that I want to see back here in this valley. So that's all I have to say, really.
Any
Please pick
questions
a-
for Brad? We appreciate your dedication to this, Brad. Thank you so much. Good report. All right, let's move on now to our regular reports. Town of Montreat, Kitty, you got anything? Huh? Do you have anything from the town? No. Okay. All right, MRA?
I have a few updates. Some are more land specific than others. And then I also have a PSA of sorts. We have some projects going on at the MRA. The barn renovation project is underway. The main goals are to make it more accessible and to update a lot of the infrastructure, lighting, sound, that kind of thing. The Memorial Garden, the scattering garden expansion is also underway. The path has been excavated and the footings for the additional columns have been ID'd, and then the next step is to put those columns in. And then those paths will also be made accessible to wheeled devices. So we've learned over the years that it's difficult for people who use wheeled devices to access that space. The pre-work for dredging the lake is underway. In the next week or two, you may see somebody in a boat out on Lake Susan taking soil and sediment samples and doing bathymetry testing, which I don't know what that is, so don't ask me. But it has to do with what's in the lake. And that actual dredging and work is probably going to begin, it's slated to begin mid-August to September. We want to get past our summer season for that. And then the last point is really not Landcare specific, but just we are having trouble filling all the slots on our summer staff. So if you know a summer collegiate who is still looking for a job, we are looking for summer staff. The decision has already been made in our child care. Children 2 years and younger, we will not be able to offer any child care because we had nobody apply for those positions. So that's a change that we've had to make based on staffing. So if you have more questions about that, I'm happy to answer them now, or you can see me afterwards. But those are the updates I have from my part of the MRA.
I've got a few.
Any questions for,
Martha, is the barn going to be air conditioned?
No, because, but
your dreams.
we are improving the fan and the draw system. The big fan that was in there that was loud and kind of ugly has actually been swapped out for a window, which is really nice. And if y'all are ever by there and you see the trucks out and they're working, you're welcome to stick your head in and see what's being done. So there will be a fan system for that, but to air condition that space would completely change the way it looks, and that's not what we were going for. So, yeah.
And it cost a fortune.
It does also cost a lot of money, but yeah, people want the barn to look like the barn.
Jason?
Yes, I
from
had a
you?
few, including stuff. Let's make sure I have everything he wanted to mention too. So yeah, we're in the middle of the summer staff selection. Summer staff contracts the first round are out. And so we'll find out soon whether or not people have accepted the jobs we gave them, but we absolutely need more folks. So, and I can't tell you in what positions because I just don't know. But we need kind of a broad range of things. Yeah, so it's not like, oh, we're struggling to find this particular weird thing. It's we need people. So we have been meeting with about the dredging. I don't see him. Bill Seaman and Martha and I and Tanner met with the Wildlife Resources Commission to renew talks. I don't know if anyone who was here, 7, 8 years ago, we started talking about reintroducing brook trout or perhaps deintroducing the rainbow is probably more accurate to give the brook trout that we already have a chance to thrive better. So we have renewed those conversations. I don't have any strong report on that, other than we are talking about it in conjunction with this whole lake dredging thing. So that is on our list, and then we have started the process with the trail consulting group that we contracted with, and so that is proceeding.
Good, thank you. Tracy, you got anything?
I'll just,
Where are you?
yeah, it's okay. I'll just add that the end of February, we'll start back with our Road Scholar programs, and looks like it's going to be a busy, busy season this year.
Okay. Any questions for any of these three? Montreat College, Dottie. No report. Okay. Cottagers. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, but that hurts, doesn't it? It does hurt, yes. Wow. Oh.
He is working with MRA on their rules committees, so that's just too much for him to do both the cottages, buildings, and the other, so I can take him off the mailing list and
Okay.
just meeting.
Oh.
Okay, so all of you who picked up copies of the new mailing list, get out your pencils and make that change right now so that you'll have it and I don't have to do another immediate reprint. Thank you.
Are you going to find someone else to stand in for you?
I'm, yes, I'm meeting at 11.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Stay tuned.
Fair enough. Earth Ministry. George Sawyer?
Just a brief report. I walked into something that I didn't know what I was walking into.
That happens.
It happens. But I guess the safest thing to say is Hal and I are looking at ways of reorganizing the committee and what's expected of the committee. In terms of activity for the committee, the two of the speakers for the Wednesday afternoon programs were recommended by this committee. So we're reorganizing.
Great. Any questions for George? Okay. Bearwise, the Bearwise, they have not gone to bed like we hoped they would. There's been some activity up Shenandoah, up Chapman Road. One big bear was under somebody's rental house, and the renters got really upset and chased the bear out. And the renters then packed up and left because they were scared that the bear was in the house. So he's been kind of wandering around up there, taking out his hunger and his drowsiness and his frustration at being awakened. So he's up there. And also a mother and two cubs are up there. Restoration, Hemlock Restoration, Abigail is not here, I don't think. Okay, Flat Creek Crossing, Jean.
Actually, I am deferring to Patty Pyle, who is the de facto leader of the group, and she is here.
Yay, Patty.
Yes, I'm glad to be with you because usually I'm at the Methodist Church cooking for 100 people, and I'm going on a mission trip tomorrow, so I had to get a substitute, which allowed me to be free today. So I'm happy to be here, and I think the theme of my little short report is money, 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 because we are so busy trying to raise money to get this trail construction started. And so a few of us have been working round the clock recently to get a grant application submitted to the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina. It's for $10,000, and we had to really work hard to get it ready because, of course, we need to meet certain deadlines so the council can see it, because we apply, of course, as a municipality. So we need all those right approvals, and all that is in process. We have a plan to apply for another grant that falls under that umbrella, the Pigeon River Fund grant, which is that application due on the 15th of March for $35,000. So, this project is costly for many reasons. So you all have heard the story already, but everything from the bank stabilization, the materials we need that need to be permeable, the stormwater management, all of the ADA features that we're building in so that it's truly accessible. That's all expensive. So we're really working hard on this grant process. We've had great meetings with Savannah and gotten a lot of help from Angie. Savannah's helped us set up a QR code so you can literally hit a button and make a donation to the trail. We've also continued to work with Jim Williamson, Jim and Peggy, making those prints and art cards available. We're going to be able to post samples of them here in Town Hall. Notices going out about fundraising through Montreat Minute. That's going to continue. And we're working on a really exciting fundraiser for the summer, so stay tuned for that. And we've also pursued paying to join this database called Candid that will lead us to other grant sources. So it's exciting. We just need to get going. So the grant that I mentioned first, the one that is hopefully going to be given to us, is for $10,000. That would, and that's the maximum we can ask for. It would be used to kickstart, to get going with some heavy equipment, moving boulders on the north side of the route, so that we can get some planning started and work on that area. So our plan is to do that, if we get the money, to do that in August after the heavy peak season. So anybody have any questions? We're still really excited.
Just include that in your note to Mason so they can get it in the newsletter.
Yeah, great.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you all so much. And just a musical ending. Rolling on the river, we're rolling on the flat creek.
Love your voice. Community wildlife habitat. I just read his report, Bill Seaman's report, really quickly. In 2023, Montreat saw at least 5 new homeowners become certified as backyard wildlife habitat properties by the National Wildlife Federation, in addition to the Montreat community being recertified. As to a plan of work for 2024, the wildlife habitat team is meeting this morning to address action items such as displays at the native plant sale elsewhere, communication with active backyard wildlife homeowners about enhancing their habitats, and recruitment of neighbors to certify their yards. Do Landcare members have any suggestions about this? Okay. All right. Let's see. Jim Williamson usually reports to us on fundraising from his cards and prints, so he's got a different hat on today. Jim?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. On those perfect spring and summer Montreat mornings, the monsters arrive, filling the air with the stench of gasoline. Gasoline-powered leaf blowers are invaders, the most maddening of all the environmental destroying tools of the American lawn care industry. Efficient but widespread use raises substantial environmental and health issues. Both the New York Times and the Washington Post have reported that a 2-stroke gasoline-powered leaf blower spews out more pollution than a Ford F-150 Raptor pickup truck. Hydrocarbon emissions from a half hour of yard work are about the same as a 3,900-mile drive from Texas to Alaska. I'm going to say that again. Hydrocarbon emissions from a half hour of lawn work with a gas-powered leaf blower are about the same as a 3,900-mile drive from Texas to Arizona.
Wow.
To Alaska.
Alaska.
I'm sorry.
Makes it just.
I'm surprised it isn't far away.
Alaska to Texas, Texas to Alaska. These blowers use 2-stroke gasoline engines, which are an outmoded technology. They're very loud, and as much as a third of the fuel is spewed into the air as unburned aerosol. Now, recently there has begun a significant debate in this country about leaf blowers. On one hand, the environmental concerns include issues such as air and noise pollution. On the other hand, the debate also considers the economic implications for landscaping businesses which use them. So the conclusion here, I think, is that a balanced approach is needed. But it's interesting to see that more than 100 cities across the country have passed regulations to ban or restrict gas-powered leaf blowers. Montreat, as we all know, is a wildlife-friendly community. Leaf blowers produce a low-frequency buzz at harmful levels that travel over a very long distance. But they also disrupt the habitats of critical pollinating species such as bees and butterflies and moths, plus other critters like amphibians and small mammals. The good news is that powerful electric and battery-operated leaf blowers now exist. They are quieter and greener and healthier than the gasoline-powered versions. Electric lawn equipment emits zero emissions. They're more expensive, yes, but they're cheaper to own and operate than gas-powered equipment over a long period of time. And they're far quieter than the gas-powered versions. So in summary, leaf blowers, although they're convenient for lawn maintenance, do pose serious environmental and health risks. There is a growing trend of imposing restrictions and bans on these services. A balanced approach is necessary, considering the economic impact on landscaping companies. But as a nature-friendly community, Montreat, I think, needs to move towards more sustainable lawn care practices. It's crucial to evaluate the benefits of technology against the need to preserve our natural environment and community health. I have some handouts here I'll pass out of questions and answers, things people often ask. I don't claim to be an expert on this. I was very surprised to discover this factual information. In fact, I'm embarrassed to say that we had a gas-powered leaf blower at work in our yard last fall. But that'll be the last time we do that. So if you would be
Jim, if you would like the entirety of your remarks in the minutes, can you send them to me electronically?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
And you mentioned the two-cycle. Is there another alternative gas power, or is that all that they have?
Not that I know of. Does anybody know any more about that?
Kitty, is this something you should take to council?
Well, I think I was going to suggest that Jim come to the council, because I think just my first reaction to this is we start out with the education of the public about just what you said. I'm blowing away. I have a battery-powered lawnmower and gas battery-powered blower, but not because I knew about this.
Just because you have it.
So if we could start out educating, then maybe people would start converting on their own, and then down the road, and move toward maybe.
Well, what does Michael use? Gas. How hard would it be for the town to set the example and convert? Oh, Michael is the leaf blower that goes all over town.
Yeah, but I'm not involved in the town, so I didn't know that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at you. I'm sorry. It was my mistake. What do you think?
We could certainly look into that, and you said that they were as powerful. Mine is not as powerful as gas.
What is the
I
college?
understand that there are some new ones that are considerably more powerful.
Yeah. But the noise, I dread, fall because that you hear it constantly. From morning to night, you hear blowers.
I love it because it comes get in my yard. I love Michael. I love the sound of Michael coming down Virginia Road.
Yeah, that's why he's on my road, but
Dottie, you know what
So-
the cottage is? Probably not. You don't.
The college has some kind of company, and they blow continuously in the fall. There's no question about that. I don't know how you would address how MRA, I don't know if you have a company or, the company.
We're in-house.
Yeah, so the college has a company that they contract with, so I don't know how you would address that, if you would have to say that there were only certain companies that could be used, and of course, financially, it'll be an interesting move forward. I think it's a great thing
Jason,
to
what do you?
alert people to, but it'll be over time, I would guess. And I think some of the new blowers have more emissions. I mean, it doesn't help the noise, but some of the new blowers have emission standards that the EPA has set on emissions that are coming out of leaf blowers. So it all depends when you bought your leaf blower.
Yeah. So Jason, what do they do? What do y'all use?
Oh, I'm sure we use gas. I mean,
Without
100%.
question.
100%.
As an
and I
audio-
think
As an audiologist, I'd also like to really elevate the comment about the noise pollution. I know that we've had a neighbor up here that has complained about noise down at the gate. It is known, but not widely known, that these blowers can cause a noise-induced hearing loss, which is detrimental to the lifestyle and the communication of the person using them. Also, it's psychologically not just the critters that you mentioned. That was new to me, but I think that's interesting. But it's also a psychologically negative factor for people that are around noise a lot. It's agitating and it's not well publicized, but I see these comments in my audiology journals, and I think that needs to be considered also for the users, but also the folks that do hear it coming down their street and just have to kind of stop what they're doing. If they're sitting outside with their cup of coffee, they go inside. So that's a light example of how it can be a deterrent psychologically. But it's an important factor too that just hasn't really gotten a lot of attention. But that's my profession, and I'm bringing that one up and raising elevation of that awareness too.
Jim, you might want to include her best comments in your report. Kitty, are you the one that he should go to get this before council from Landcare?
Well, you can come, there's two opportunities in a council meeting to get up and share, and it's not a time for question and answer that happens before the meeting, but more people are at the meeting than before the meeting. So I would come and during one of those times, just get up and give you a report to get the ball rolling.
I wonder, I'd be willing to do that. I wonder if instead of just me as an individual making this report, it would be possible just to say something about the position of this committee, or our attitude towards it might give a little more weight to it.
What do you guys think?
I think it would be nice to endorse this. I don't know, I'm not really good with legal and how we make that happen.
Yeah,
But I think it would,
endorsement.
to his point, I think it would give more weight. I think it's something very worthwhile considering. So if we could write up, is the wording endorse strong enough? If I made a motion that this committee endorsed his findings and would proceed with an educational endeavor for this community, and we voted on that, would that sound good?
Would that cover what you need?
Yeah, I think it would. It would be nice, I think, if some proposed action were recommended or proposed.
That being the case, can I move that we do some more research on this before we immediately try to put a motion or for an action out today, you know. I like what you were saying about that. It's nice to know there are nice electric ones coming, but I want everyone to imagine in your head a mine, right? A mine where the metal for the batteries come from, and whether or not you think that is green. And it's certainly better in some ways, absolutely. But for I guess the point I'm making is for the individual homeowner, nothing is greener than the rake. So, so don't think that changing over to a nice, you know, new electric thing is the greenest thing you can do.
No,
So,
you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
but I still think looking into that before we jump on a motion would probably be good.
I'm not sure how much more information Jim can gather.
Yeah.
I had, go ahead, yeah.
I applaud what you've done, Jim.
Oh, yes.
I would add to the rake composting as being a very viable alternative. Fortunately, I have a space that I can do that in my yard, and I know that's not true everywhere. But I would not I would like to recommend that you make this presentation in front of the City Council, too, without waiting for us to go ahead and give you any further support. I think it's valuable information, and I think they would appreciate hearing it.
Well, perhaps if it's premature to make a recommendation for action by the town council, maybe it would be enough to simply say that this committee has reviewed the issue and endorses it or some such language.
I think that sounds reasonable. Do you?
I do too.
Can you just endorse further study?
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say too, Kitty, is at a minimum, and I think we can kind of do a compromise here. At a minimum, we could endorse Jim going to the town and beginning an educational process. Does that sound good?
Well, I'd like to see, as part of the educational process, really seriously considering what areas need to be blown and what don't. Because fallen leaves are a great habitat, as you alluded to, for a lot of very important critters. And so I think part of the education piece would be just really consider, do we really need to blow leaves everywhere that we're blowing leaves?
I would like to add a personal observation. We have accumulated more leaves than we actually intended to that are not mulched yet underneath a mulberry tree. It's actually a restricted zone. Can't remember at the moment what it's called. We don't actually own it, but we maintain it. And that pile of leaves, even though it's bigger than it probably ought to be, we can come out on a cold morning and find 5 deer sometimes cushed into that pile for warmth. They've spent hours there. So leaves are important as long as we don't let them get too deep.
Yeah, well, you know why they call them leaves. You're supposed to leave them there.
Yeah.
Would you like to amend your motion?
This is not my forte, but I'll do my best.
You're good at it.
No, I'm not. I move that we vote as a committee to support Jim's recommendation to take to the town council this for further education and period. That's it. And help me.
Is there a second to this?
Wait, Kitty, did you? Yeah, add that in. Anything else we need to do to polish that up?
Yeah.
Okay, Jean, would you reread that motion?
Beth Fountain moves that we vote as a committee to support Jim's recommendation and suggest that he take it to the town council for education and further research. Good enough?
Is there a second? Is there any further discussion about this?
Who's going to do this further research?
Oh. Congratulations, Jim.
Really, I don't want this to be just a one-man show.
What? Okay.
Let
Hang
the
on.
town-
We're not there. We're not quite there yet.
Let
Okay.
the town think about that.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor, and it's been seconded, and are we ready to vote? All in favor of this motion, raise your hands.
Okay, so we've got 6 and 2 abstentions. I think it's carried. Do you think? I don't know.
I think it's carried, yeah. Okay, motion's carried. And Jim, to answer your question, I think Beth's got it. Let the town do that. Let's see what the town says about that and pick up on it. Kitty, you got an idea on that?
No, I was just gonna say, maybe contact Tom Whitmer about getting something started, little bits in the concrete minute. We start just plugging a little bit in each week, start the education process.
Would that be after the talk at the council? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Did I miss anyone? Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business? Next meeting is Wednesday, March the 6th. Motion to adjourn. Second? Bye. We're adjourned.
Pick up flyers for the March 19th.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. See, you did a good job. I thought you did a good job. You put it exactly the way they wanted to hear it, you see. Okay, now,
That one is yours.
is that mine? I've got one at home.
Okay,
That's great, though.
okay.
Look at that map.
Yeah, that is. It's very pretty work.
I'm supposed to meet with Martha Campbell and Bill Seaman.
And that should be happening in like 9 minutes or 8 minutes.
We did it.
Yeah, 9:52 is what I wrote down.
I like it. I like
Off
it.
my phone. I never trust that clock anymore.
I can't even see that clock.
Yeah, and
black
it's
not
hard to
white. I
read,
can't
too.
see it.
It's a little too artsy, not enough clear. I sure hope so. Okay. Did you just say hi to your dog? Oh, it did, yeah. I thought I heard you say hi, Bing. That's a talented pup. Me too, good to see you.